What if I told you you could have more followers, more traffic on your website, and do it by only really creating the work once, but having it work for you on every platform that your business has created? Well, that's something that we've taken thousands of blog posts of writing to figure out how to do. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about how you can steal our formula for the most efficient and effective blog post that will help your small business grow. My name is Chris Milton. I run 323 Media. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the formula that we've created for our sub-agency that's called the Content Machine. The Content Machine is basically a platform that we created that was all about writing, repurposing content, and it's also there, I'll be honest, to train everybody how to do it as well. So in this formula, we create a different structure of blog posts that's designed to help you maximize your time. And it starts in one particular place where you should always be building content, and that's your website, and having your questions that customers are asking, as well as just information that helps people through the sales process, all created in a place that ranks really well for Google. It helps your customers get to the next part of their journey so that they can be more loyal to you, spend more money with you, and you can educate them along the way about why you're different from your competitors. So let's cover the topic. The topic here is all about first creating content that is going to work for a really long period of time. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The most important one, though, is as a small business owner, you don't want to feel like you're being held hostage by your content plan. Trust me, I feel that myself. You can go through all of our archives that I was responsible for on our agency site, and you will see the gaps that needed to be filled in by our team, because there are times where months go by that nothing is posted onto the blog, and it's terrible for SEO. Imagine what it's like when you're actually selling those services to other people. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But the point is, the timeless posts that have been created still perform. Our best performing blog post that generates us about, I'd say, 2 to 3 leads every month are from four or 5 years ago now. And the point of that is they're timeless. They're still really great pieces of content that have been turned into all different platform content, and it's things that people still can utilize today, and it's relevant. So I'm here to explain the exact same thing. If this video is something that you're interested in learning more about and you want to actually have the detail and the granular steps, then the course is available on thecontentmachine.ca for you to be able to take. Sometimes we do in-person workshops, and there's also an hour-long version of this as a webinar. So reach out, dig in, figure out if there's more information that you want. But I think if you're a pretty good content marketer, if you're a pretty good business owner, if you have a good idea of how to write blog posts already, this video will probably be enough for you. So the first thing that I want you to be able to do is list out all of the things that you've heard from customers. These could be things that you felt like you were repeating yourself when you're talking with them before they purchase. These could be things that you're thinking about of, oh my goodness, I've got to copy and paste, or I'm constantly repeating myself with things that are post-sale and service things, or just how-tos. List out all of those things. For me personally, I do this in Notion. It's the best way that I find to keep track of notes, but also link everything together in a hierarchy. And that's going to matter to keep organized down the road. So for here, if you start off and you make that list, try to get to 50 or 60 of those things. And if you can't do that now, just leave them there as a numbered list and start filling them in as they pop up. There's a couple of different places that I personally use to research this. The first is just top of mind. What's coming to mind right now as, what did I hear yesterday? What was my meeting about last week? This customer that has been with us for a few years, what are the things that they like the most? The second step is I'll go into my email and start looking through the sent items for duplicates. And I'll use it to search for keywords and different things that happen during the prospecting journey. And the third thing that I'll do is look at some of our competitors' websites and see what FAQs that they have listed that we may not have thought about. See if they're relevant and see if that's something that could help us as well. And then the fourth thing that I'll do is I'll look at YouTube as well as on social media and just start typing in random keywords that are related to what we're thinking about and see what content pops up. And it's not about copying those things. It's about seeing which things are performing well and then being able to think about it and say, you know what, that could also apply to our business. It's not about seeing, for me, exactly our direct competitor, like another digital marketing agency. It's not necessarily about that. It's about the topics. And it might be something that I see a company that is selling something on Etsy, and the way that they approach, okay, this is how we create our products. Oh, cool. That behind the scenes part of things is really interesting to me. And maybe if we talk a little bit more about that, like in this series, that'll be something that's more interesting to people. So it's finding inspiration in a lot of places that may not be considered by your competitors. And that gives you a huge advantage, especially if you've got a lot of search terms and unbranded traffic and people that are looking for what you do rather than who you are. So there's a whole other video series that we're going to be able to do that is kind of the basics of SEO and keyword research and understanding topics and where you fit in and finding your corner of the internet. But that's for another day. Today is about the format of the blog post itself. So when you choose one of those topics, the first thing that you want to be able to do is just brain dump everything that you can think about on that topic and structure it in a way that you're having a conversation with your customers. The reason that that's really important to feel like it's conversational or like you're writing an email is because you do want it to be written from a place of expertise, but also from a place that you're still relating to them and you're still communicating with them one-on-one. And this is really great for a reader being able to understand when they're reading something on your website, they feel like they're being spoken to, not being yelled at or educated or thrown the book at, which is often what happens with a lot of writing, becomes too technical. So keep that personalization that's there. You know your audience well, you're already communicating with them, probably by phone, by email, by Zoom. And so this gives you a really great way to continue that voice and continue to build your voice, especially if in the future you might be considering selling your services online. Then you'll be able to double down on your content. Or if you're looking to hire a writer to help you with more content, there'll be a really good knowledge there that they can look into that shows how you communicate with customers. So once you've done that brain dump, start to organize it. And the way that you want to organize it is in terms of a sandwich where the first part you're really taking into account the problem, identifying the problem, empathizing around the problem, and explaining that you understand what that problem is. And we'll stay out of the details here because I don't want it to be something that turns into too much that feels irrelevant for your business. But I'm sure you can identify those things. The who, what, when, why, all of those qualifiers so that people know that they're in the right place. The next thing you want to look at is, does solving this have a linear process where it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5? Or does it have maybe different reasons why you solve this problem? So that could be, 3 to 5 bullet points that are talking about, we take this approach, we take that approach, our consideration includes this. All of those things are really important. Again, just do it as a bulleted list and see. The other part of it is maybe you have different ways to solve this problem or different reasons why your solution fixes this. This could be something that is preventative, like built into a product that doesn't worry about, bacteria that is growing, product that is antibacterial, that's not by nature of how you've created it. There's all of those reasons why it doesn't necessarily have to solve that problem. You could also show that your intent and your innovation naturally made that not even a problem. And that can be a really great way for you to find content as well for you to write about, is because you may not have thought about that because you've predicted it already. And so you baked that into your process. That's awesome. The point of it is, I've said it a couple times, 3 to 5. Those are the number of bullet points that you want to include. So those bullet points are then going to turn into a little small snippet of what it is and a little bit of why. You want to limit that to almost like one line of text. That's it. So it can be H3 when you're formatting it. And then with each of the different headers that you have in the next couple of paragraphs, you're going to have 1 to 3 paragraphs about each of those bullet points. So this is kind of your test to see if each of those things is too little or maybe too in depth for figuring out how much should be written about it. So if that bullet point you think is going to take like 5 to 7 paragraphs to explain it, maybe it needs to be broken into 2. Or if that one line that you have beside your bullet point is all that you need to say about it, then it's probably going to need to be combined with something else. The outcome, though, is exactly what you want. You've created each of these headers. You've got 3 to 5 bullet points. If it turns into 7, great. If it turns into 10, great. No matter what, though, then you want to have each of them turn into a header, followed by 1, 2, 3 paragraphs maximum for each of these, and just start filling in those blanks. So what you've effectively done is you've come up with an idea, you've created a framework, and you've just filled in the gaps. That's it. Now, what you want to also think about down the road is, could each of these paragraphs, these 1 to 3 paragraphs that were a bullet point, could those also turn into a full blog post? Think about it. Maybe there's another layer of depth. Maybe if we use that example about what was built into your product already, maybe that leads to another innovation post. But down the road, once you have those first 20 articles that are written, you can look at these and say, what now? What can I go more in depth on? Because you've just created from 20 blog posts, let's just say each of them only have 3 bullet points. You've got 60 bullet points that are sitting there, and at least half of them you'd probably be able to write another article about. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. So after you've got this idea down, you've got those bullet points laid out, you've got each of those different paragraphs that are breaking down more about what they are, then wrap it up and put a bow on it. That's great. Your conclusion reiterates some of the things that you want to have from your introduction. It's just rewritten in a way that somebody understands that you've satisfied their problem with a great solution, and give them actionable steps. The thing about the actionable steps is sometimes where you could actually start to come up with ideas. If I wanted somebody to fill out this contact form, why would they do it? And that could also be another way that you can kind of reverse engineer an article. But the idea is that you've got a clear call to action for them to do what you think is the right next step. They don't know. You're the expert. So that's really the format. As you're going back through and editing, there's a lot of little quirks that you can look for where there's opportunities for internal linking within your own website. Like it could be something about our products A, B, and C tackle this specific problem. That's related to what you have that you're dealing with. That's one way that you could solve this problem. Well, of course, products A, B, and C should be linking to that product page or that more information page or a request a quote about that specific thing. So all of these opportunities, all of these little nuances are really great. There's one more opportunity that is kind of a key part of all of this, and that's you. Deciding whether you're going to have this published as yourself personally or as the company is not a hard decision in most cases. Some people are great, some people are not. It's just up to you for how much you want to have your face out there. The difference, though, is how you write the bio. If you're creating on WordPress, if you're creating on other blogging platforms, there's a big opportunity for you to have your bio listed out that can create a lot of keywords and a lot of relevance and authority to kind of qualify who you are and why you're writing this. It's not because they don't believe you because they're on your website. It's so that you can add more about your business or yourself when Google's crawling your website. Now, if it's a fixed bio that is used for your bio that's an extended bio within WordPress, for example, and there's an awesome author box plugin that's called Starbox that we've used for a few sites now that works really well and it's free. That's something that you can use to have as a static byline. And this is something that you'll see with pretty well all writers that are, writing editorial content for magazines and newspapers. It works really great. But if you don't have that and you want to be able to do it manually so you can add different interests and different specific, maybe some cool things about you, you can actually write this manually just as an H5 paragraph at the very bottom of the paragraph, the last paragraph. And this is written very similarly to if you were a guest contributor on a really big site, like if you submitted something to BuzzFeed or to, Homes and Gardens or some of these massive websites where they have a variety of writers. That's actually manually put in. And it's going to show that, it's published by editorial team, but then the person who's writing it is me. Well, we've done this in a really creative way, and I hope you enjoy it if you start poking through 323's blogs. But our team started to introduce different information about me through the different bylines and actually had fun writing it, which is pretty cool. So if you want to have fun with that and have kind of some Easter eggs that are tied into it, each of those you can find as examples of things that are written. Like, I think one of them that was my favorite was, Chris bounces from topic to topic within marketing because of the amount of time he played basketball. Bouncing a ball, bouncing topics around is just the way that he does things. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's clever. It puts a smile on my face, and technically the content was my own. And I hope that that creates another layer of relatability with any of the prospects that happen to be reading that. So this is it. It's really simple. That's how you create the blog posts. But the catch with how you're writing these is that, number one, it's all from you. It's 100% authentic. Number two, it's easy to do and you can do it at scale. Number three, it's easy to train someone on. Number four, you've created this hierarchy where you can go into more depth and write more specific articles, and that creates great rabbit holes for people to understand. And last but not least, each of those paragraphs that you've written is a social media post. The magic behind this is whenever you run out of ideas for your social media calendar, or maybe you don't even have a social media calendar and this is it, each of those things takes less than 5 minutes of writing for you to suddenly have a tweet that's ready to go, to suddenly start a post on Reddit, to have this as a caption on Facebook or Instagram, to be able to do this as a topic for a YouTube video. You're done. Your content calendar for your social media is ready to go with all of this content that you've created in a pretty short matter of time just by creating an awesome blog post. Because it's timeless, this is something that you can add one sentence to or one sentence removed, and you're probably able to post it multiple times over the next few years. Obviously not back to back, but if you post it today on social media and you've got 100 followers, then you post it again a year from now and you've got 500 or 600 followers, that means 400 to 500 people probably haven't seen that. So it's relevant again. So there's a lot of content that you've just created with this process that we built out. We call it the Content Machine, and I encourage you to go check it out for more. So check out thecontentmachine.ca. There's a few more resources that are there about what we've done and how this process works. You can take the course as well and be able to have that as a referenceable option for you to take a look into. Anything else, there's more depth than what we covered here. It is taught by myself, and it is something that we use as 101 for training our own staff when they come on board and start writing, or if they're interested in writing. So I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, I'm always available to answer. This whole series is developed around questions that are coming from our clients, our audience, and I look forward to helping you understand more about what's happening in the world of marketing, because everyone deserves better marketing, and I know that that's just a couple steps, a couple clicks away, and typically it's just about the intention of getting it done. All right, until the next video, go get them, and I'll see you then.